Hi, and welcome to Improve Your Balance. My name is Karen Brownlee with the North Suburban YMCA, and I'm here to take you through an at-home balance class. I'd like you to have with you a chair to help you balance. I'm going to have you facing your chair, so you can take your chair and put it so that you can see the video the whole time, but I'm going to have mine off to the side so that you can see what it looks like holding on to the chair, but so that you can also see what I'm doing. So for your first exercise, I want you to give me a step tap. This is what it looks like from the side with soft knees. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, and your core is engaged the whole time. I want you to think about your feet as having four corners on the bottom of them. One corner on either side of the ball of each foot, and one corner on either side of the heel of each foot. And I want you to think about the four corners on this foot, the four corners on this foot, the four corners on this foot. Remember to keep those knees with a little bend in them soft the whole time. I don't want you to get on that leg and then lock that knee back. I want you to keep a tiny little bend the whole time. Feel free to use your chair the whole time. If you feel like you don't need it, then I'd like you to stand with it in front of you and have your hands above it so that you can grab it should you need it at any point in class. So we're warming up our joints with a step tap. Now, if this feels like it's something that's pretty easy for you, you can change it into a step lift so that leg that's coming up isn't touching the ground until you put it back down. Chest up, shoulders down, belly tight the whole time. Lifting that foot. I want you to think about the foot that you're standing on as having four corners on the bottom of it. One corner on either side of the ball of your foot, one corner on either side of the heel of your foot, and you are evenly distributing your weight between those four corners. And now we're going to get a little crazy. I want you to bring it up and stop. And then switch and bring it up and stop. Remember, I want you facing your chair so you can hold on to it if you need to when you stop. Test yourself. Pick those fingers up and put them back down. But we're switching feet and stopping. So now, in addition to our chest up, our shoulders down, and our belly tight, the leg that you're standing on, I want you to tighten the thigh and the glute. I still want you to have a soft knee, though, not locked. So that knee has a little bend in it. You're just facing your chair the whole time. I'm turning so that you can see different parts of what I'm doing, but you're going to be facing that chair the whole time so it's in front of you, so you can grab it if you need it. And if a chair doesn't feel stable enough for you, please, by all means, use a countertop or a table or the back of a big solid couch. We're working on balance, so I'm guessing you're taking this class because you're a little concerned about your balance or you'd like to improve your balance, hence the name of the class. If that's the case, then you don't need to be able to do these exercises without holding on to something. You're practicing. Good. So you'll notice we do each one for a while. And let's march our legs a little bit. The next exercise I want you to do will be coming up onto your toes and resting back down. Once again, your knees have a tiny little bend in them. I don't want them locked. I don't want you coming up on those toes with locked knees, just a tiny little bend. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Why do I say that all the time? Because when we're concerned about our balance, we tend to kind of lean forward. And then there are some people who lean back. So I want you to find that neutral. Soft knee, hips are over your knees, shoulders are over your hips, ears are over your shoulders. So that's the chest up, shoulders down, belly tight part of it. This is where I'd like you to get your balance from. So you want to use these muscles, bring your belly button to your spine. That's something that we talked about in class in the past, is using the TH sound, like you were to start the letter the, or this, or that. That TH sound engages your transverse abdominals. So as you're coming up onto those toes, you can go like you're saying think, or thank, or thump. Now we're going to change it slightly. This is one where you need to be really conscious of those knees not locking. I want you to keep a slight bend in your knees and you're lifting your toes up off of the ground. Remember, fingertips are on that chair if you need it, or just above the chair if you don't, and you're lifting those toes up off the ground now, going back onto your heels with soft knees. Remember, your hips are over your knees and ankles, your shoulders are over your hips, your ears are over your shoulders, as best you can. Good, you're lifting those toes up. This is a really good exercise if you've had sciatica and you have the foot drop, and when you're walking, your foot catches on things. You can do this exercise while standing, and we're also going to try it a little bit later if I remember. Let's remember I want to do that, put a little note in my head. That we'll do these exercises from the chair too a little bit later. You're just raising those toes up. Okay, now we're going to get crazy. We're going to do toes and heels. Toes and heels. Keep those knees unlocked. And you're pushing yourself off the ground with your toes. And you're lifting your toes off the ground. And you're on your heels. Calf muscles, shin muscles. Calf muscles, shin muscles. Knees are unlocked the whole time. It may take some really conscious thought. And you'll notice you're on front two corners, back two corners, front two corners, back two corners. All right, let's march those legs out again. Now I'd like you to stand sideways to your chair. You're going to stand on the leg that is closest to the chair, and you're going to lift up your other leg. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work on single leg balance. So with your chest up, your shoulders down, and your belly tight, you're going to stand on this inside leg, holding onto your chair or having your hand just above it with a soft knee. So remember a little bit of a bend in that knee. Then you're going to lift this leg off the ground. We're going to shoot for a minute. Ready, get set, go. Chest up, shoulders down, belly tight. You've got this foot off the ground. You've got this thigh tight, this glute tight, but this knee is soft. Now, if you find this to be challenging, just hang here. You're doing a great job. If you find it to be easy, you could try moving that other leg around. You could try lifting your hand up off of your chair or your counter. If you find it to be hard, I want you using a counter. Put your foot down, walk over to a counter and hold on to that instead of the chair. You could move your arm around. Let's say you want to just keep that leg in place, you could try that arm around. If you want it more challenging, you could do both. You could also try looking around by changing your focus. That changes your ability to balance. And then as you get better and better at this, you could even try this exercise with your eyes closed. If you lose your balance, you put your foot down or you grab onto that chair. And if you've closed your eyes and you lose your balance, you're going to open them. All right, now we're going to turn around and do the other leg. I'm going to switch my chair so that I can see you. Just kidding, obviously I can't see you, but this way you can see me. So you're going to stand with your other hand on the chair or the countertop or the table. You're going to have a slight bend in that knee, but you're going to tighten the thigh and the glute. You're going to tighten your abs, push your chest up and your shoulders down. Ready, get set, pick up this outside leg. We're going to shoot for a minute again. So if this is challenging for you, fantastic. This is all you have to do is hang here with that leg up. You can put your foot down when you need a break. If you can't get that foot up off the ground and feel balanced, you can leave your toe on the ground. We're working on balance. This knee is soft. This thigh is tight. This glute is tight. Your abs are tight. Your chest is up. Your shoulders are down. Your hips are coming forward. You're not leaning forward. Your torso's tall. If you want to add challenge, you could move that other leg around. Or you could move that other arm around. Or you could move both around, however works for you. You could try looking around, see how that feels. And the ultimate challenge would be to try to close your eyes. You don't have to do any of those. You can just hang here. I'd like you to try to not white knuckle your chair or your countertop. Just have your hand there for balance. Remember, we are trying to challenge your balance. March your legs, but I don't want you to be scared. So if you need to hold on tight, by all means, hold on tight. All right, let's take your chair now and let's do a few seated exercises. So I'm going to turn the chair sideways so that you can see how I do this next exercise by sticking my tush back. We're going to do a chair squat. Yes, it is not an easy exercise for everyone, and that's okay. You're going to have your feet hip width apart. You're going to stick your tush back and lower yourself down to that chair. If you are lowering yourself down and you get to here and you have to plop, that's okay. We're going to work on building strength so that ultimately you won't have to plop. The way to build that strength is by doing this exercise more than once, doing it over and over again, doing it every day. If you end up sore, then you get to take a day off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just go up and down from our chair. Is it cheating to use your hands on your thighs? No. Is it cheating if you have sides on your chair to push up off those sides? No. If you need to use that assistance to go up and down, by all means, use that assistance to go up and down. We're trying to build strength. It doesn't mean you have to already be strong. Things I want you to think about as you do this exercise. Stick that tush back. As you go down, I don't want your knees to go in front of your toes. If you're plopping, we're going to work on stopping the plopping over time. The higher your chair, the easier it is. So if you find this to be really hard and you discover you've got a low chair, think you have a higher chair and try it on that chair instead. If you find this to be easy and you've got a high chair, maybe see if you can find a lower chair. As you come up, you can squeeze your glutes. And if you were able to do 2 and then you had to stop, that is okay. That was 2 more than you might have done yesterday. Tomorrow, shoot for 3. Up and down, fatigue, or until we're done. And now we're done. All right, I'm going to stay like this. I talked about maybe doing those toe raises and heel raises while seated. We're going to do that next. So, you want to put your ankles straight below your knees and you want to sit up tall in your chair. I'd like you to not be leaning back if you can help it. And you're going to lift those toes up. This is an exercise you can do anytime throughout your day. Whenever you're seated, you can do toe raises. It's strengthening the muscles on your shins, which are much smaller than the muscles on your heels. And if you have the toe drop, you might find one foot goes higher than the other. That's okay, but you want to really work on building the strength on the other foot. Will you be able to build it quickly? Not necessarily if you have nerve damage. But being able to be aware of those muscles and pulling those feet up is really great if you've got the toe drop so that you don't trip over things. Next exercise we can work on is raising your heels up. Both of these exercises are a little bit easier while seated, and you can practice them anytime while you're seated. All right, that's going to be it for the chair for right now. We might do a little bit more later. We're going to stand back up and do some more standing balance exercises. So I'm going to turn my chair again this way. And what we're going to do next is you're still going to face your chair like this. But what you're going to do next is you're going to raise from your glute. You're going to bring that leg up behind you. So it's not a knee bend. It's a glute raise. So you're raising up your leg from your glute or your buttock muscle. You've got your chest up, your shoulders down, your belly tight. You're balancing on the other leg. You've got a soft knee on the leg you're standing on. You have the 4 corners on the bottom of that foot. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Lifting that leg up behind you. Good one. Using that glute. If your low back gets tired, you get to stop. Take a break. And then we're going to switch sides. So put the other leg back, and then you're going to lift that leg up from the glute. What do I mean by that? I mean it's not a knee bend. We're not just using the hamstring, we're using the glute. Why are we doing glute strengthening exercises? With every step we take, we use our hip flexor. We don't use our glutes very often. So we want to use those muscles, which is part of why your back is getting tired. If your back starts to get tired, really push your belly button to your spine and see if you can get a couple more glute raises. But if your back is too tired, by all means stop. Take a break. This knee is soft. You're thinking about the 4 corners on the bottom of this foot. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Now we're going to get crazy, and we're going to go back and back. We're alternating legs. Touch that toe behind you, or if you want to get a little more crazy, you can lift that leg up behind you. Torso tall, shoulders down, use the glute, alternate legs. Remember, you could still be touching that toe down as well. You don't have to lift that leg all the way up. All right, now I'd like you to turn sideways to your chair. We did just lift to the back. Now we're going to lift to the front, but we're not just going to lift up. I want you to lift up and hold for a moment. Straighten, bend, put it down, and then switch legs. Straighten, bend, put it down. So now we're working your quadriceps by lifting and straightening. Lifting and straightening. You don't have to get that leg real high. If you're like me and you have tight hamstrings, your leg may not come too high. If you've got loose hamstrings, you may get that leg really high. It doesn't work for me. Some things that I do may not work for you, and that's okay. So remember, we're concentrating on balancing on the leg that you're standing on. Yes, you're lifting up this leg and moving it, but the objective is to be able to balance on this leg while you do it. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Doesn't mean you have to let go of your chair. I'm just demonstrating that you want to think about the leg that you're standing on. Think about the four corners on the bottom of that foot, and then the four corners on the bottom of this foot, and we're straightening. Good. All right, now that we're done with that one, I'd like you to go to the back of your chair, and I'd like you to step over something, and then over something, and then walk backwards. And then step over something, and then walk backwards. So we're working on balance again. We're putting into place that exercise that we just did where you lifted and straightened, but now we're putting that foot down and walk backwards. Now, you can just keep this one, or if you want a little extra challenge, you can step over backwards and over backwards. So you're stepping over something forward. Let's pretend there's a puddle, or maybe a crack in the sidewalk. Or the way my house used to be, it might have been a dog that would be underneath you, or a cat. Or somebody else put something on the floor and you realize, oops, there's something there. There's a spill. You're stepping over and over. Stepping over forward, and if you're comfortable, you can step over backwards, or you just walk backwards. You don't walk backwards very much in our everyday lives. Getting a little practice walking backwards is good. But make sure you've got something to hold on to so you don't fall. Over, over, walk back, or over, back. Good. Okay, next on the agenda, we're going to do a lunge. Lunges aren't for everybody, I understand that. And if it's not for you, you don't have to do the lunge. But if you can, it's a good leg strengthener, and it helps to improve your balance. So you're going to take one leg, put it in front, one leg, put it behind. Notice my feet are hip-width apart. I'm not trying to line them up in a straight line. Feet are hip-width apart. My back heel is up. I'll demonstrate from the side. See how my back heel is up? Then you're going to bend both knees and go down and up. You don't need to go super deep. You only go as deep as you can. If this hurts this knee, or it hurts this knee, or your hip, or something else, then you don't have to do this exercise. If you find this exercise to be easy, you could lunge down and come up, and lunge down and come up. However, my guess is if you're working on improving your balance, this might be plenty of balance challenge. I'm going to face this way again so you can see. Again, my feet are hip-width apart. I'm bending both knees. And then, of course, we're going to switch legs. So you'll put the other leg back. You can turn around if you want, but I find when we turn around, we forget which leg was in front. So again, feet are hip-width apart. Torso tall, shoulders down, belly tight. You can go down and up. What I'd like you to think about is keeping that torso tall the whole time, not leaning forward as you go up and down. Like this from the side. Torso tall, not leaning forward. Got weight on your front leg, less weight on your back leg if you can. Remember, you could always pull up, go back down if you find it to be easy. You might find that you can do it with one leg in front and not with the other leg in front. That's okay too. You could even just get in this position and practice standing. If it hurts your knees to lunge, you could just stand like this. This is good balance work. In fact, let's do that next. One leg in front. Let's switch legs now. Let's put the first leg in front again. The other leg back. I want you to give me as long a stride as you can. I'm just going to work on balance. Pick your feet up off that chair. Come on if you need it. If this is challenging for you, just hang here and try to balance. Shift your weight to your front leg. Shift your weight to your back leg. Shift your weight to your front leg. You won't see much movement, but you can feel yourself shifting. Front leg, back leg, front leg, back leg. Let's switch. Put the other leg in front. Torso is tall, shoulders are down, belly is tight, back heel is up. Even if you can put your heel down, have it up because you have to work on balance more when you do that. Core is engaged. Now shift your weight to the front leg and the back leg. The front leg and the back leg. Remember, hold on to that chair. If you need it, try to not white knuckle it. Just have it there for balance if you need it. Shifting that weight, front leg, back leg, front leg, back leg. Come on up out of that lunge. Okay, we've done the sideways walk a little bit, but we're going to try it now a little bit differently. What I'd like you to do now is get yourself into a semi-squat position. Try to walk sideways in a semi-squat position. This is a good exercise to work on. Someone who goes to the theater, you've got to get around people. You know how to, excuse me, you're kind of staying low. So you've got to bend in those knees, you've got to bend in those hips. Your torso is still tall, and you're stepping sideways. Pardon me. Stepping. But now we're going to stand up nice and tall and do it standing tall. Stepping sideways. Standing tall. You've got your table or your chair. You don't have to do a lot of steps. Maybe 1 or 2 to each side. So you've always got something to hold on to. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do that step over thing sideways. Step over. So this is really going to be your theater thing. People try to move their feet, and they don't do such a great job. Or they may have a purse on the ground, or they may have their coat tucked there. So you're stepping over and over, over and over. Same thing with a puddle or a curb. Good exercise to practice for getting out of the car. And if you want to get crazy, get low and step over. And over. Must you do that? No, not if it's not comfortable for you. Step over, lift up both feet to step over. Because stepping over with your right foot doesn't mean you can drag your left foot through it. You've got to step that left foot over it too. Over and over. Torso tall, shoulders down, belly tight. Come back to your chair. All right, next on the agenda. We just did some sideways things where we worked on lifting and putting down. Now we're going to work on balancing while bringing that other leg out to the side. This is called hip abduction. Strengthens around here. Of course, you're using this. This knee is soft. It has that little tiny bend in it. Torso tall, shoulders down. Hold on to your chair or your table or your countertop or the back of your couch or whatever you have, and lift that leg out and in. If you find this to be easy, you could lift it out and hold it. Try taking your fingertips off your chair. Tight thigh, tight glute, soft knee. Think of the 4 corners on the bottom of that foot. Torso tall, shoulders down, belly tight. Whatever way works for you, up and down with that leg. And you can hold it up, or you can hold it up, bring it up and down. Whatever works for you. And now march your legs. Let's do the other side. I'm going to move my chair. Just turn around. You don't have to see me necessarily. Soft knee, chest up, shoulders down, belly tight, thigh tight, glute tight. Other leg is going up and down. Think about the 4 corners on the bottom of the foot of the leg that you're standing on. Keep your knee soft. Keep your core engaged. Your chest is up and your shoulders are down. Soft knee, soft knee, soft knee. 4 corners on the bottom of that foot. Remember, you do not have to let go. And remember, too, if you lose your balance, you just put your foot down. Join me again when you're ready. Good job, gang. Keep your core engaged. Excellent. Let's march those legs. Oh, remember, too, you could have held it up. I forgot to mention that. When you're done marching your legs, join me again. Try holding it up if you want. You don't have to. Remember, this knee is soft. Glutes are tight. Abs are tight. Glutes are tight. Thighs are tight. You can hold it up, or you can keep going up and down. Whatever works for you. Now march those legs again. This time they will be marched for good. All right, next on the agenda. Let me see what else we've got. We did that. We did that. That. Oh, we're doing all kinds of things. All right. The next one we're going to do is we're going to reach from one side to the other. So I'd like you to stand next to your chair. bring yourself into a semi-squat position. That can be just a tiny little bend. That can be lower, whatever's going to be comfortable for you. Then what I'd like you to do is shift your weight over here, and then shift your weight over here. If you can let go of the chair and do it, fine. You could also do it with your chair in front of you, actually, where you could reach across, have it here if you need it, reach across, have it here if you need it. I'm going to have mine to the side so you can see me, but you can also just hold on. You're in that semi-squat position, and you're reaching, and you're reaching, and you're reaching, or you're reaching. So you're being stable, and you're stabilizing yourself on those 2 feet as you reach and reach. I don't want you to ever pick anything up while you're reaching far away. I want you to get yourself close to it and then pick it up. Then maybe you're going to reach over here, but get yourself close to it before you put it back down in a new place. All right, so you're reaching. Remember, you can hold on. Now, if you were holding on, I want you to move your chair to the other side or turn around. Hold on again and reach this way so that you're holding on with one hand and then the other hand. But remember, you don't have to let go. You can always be holding on. So you're reaching and reaching and reaching with as much bend in the knee as you are comfortable doing. If you want to get really low, you can do that. We're working on stabilizing and shifting our weight from one side to the other while maintaining our stable base. Shifting and shifting. Good. Remember, you can do this while holding on. You can do it while being a little bit straighter. You can do it while being a lot deeper. You choose what's going to be best for you. All right, the next one we're going to do is you can either do this one facing your chair or your countertop, or you can do it sideways to it. We're going to do what we call our clocks. I'm going to do it facing you so you can see. You're going to stand on one leg. You're going to bring the other foot forward to 12 o'clock, then 12:30, then 1 o'clock, then 2 o'clock, then 2:30, and 3 o'clock, 3:30, and bring it back to the middle, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, and then 6 o'clock. Bring it back in. And then we're going to do 12 to 6 the other way. So 12 o'clock, 11:30, 11. So what are you thinking about as you do this? You are thinking about having a soft knee of the leg that you're standing on. You're thinking about those 4 corners on the bottom of your foot. You're thinking about balancing evenly as you move that leg around. So you know how we just did the exercise where we moved our arms around? Now we're moving our leg around. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to stand on this leg, and this leg's going to start at 6 o'clock and move itself around to 12 o'clock. So soft knee, tight core, tight glute, tight thigh, back. So from 6 to 5:30 to 5. Have enough room near your chair so you can do it and not kick your chair. Going up from 6 to 2 to 1:30. Try to keep those hips level. All right, now we're going to switch and do the other leg. Soft knee. Think of the 4 corners on the bottom of this foot. You're going back from 6 to 6:30 to 7, and work your way around until you get yourself back up to 12 o'clock. 9:30, 10. Torso is tall, knee is soft. Balancing on those 4 corners on the bottom of that foot. I might have done a few too many, but that's okay. Good. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to step forward, step back, leading with our right leg or our left leg, whichever leg works for you. We're going to lead with it, and you're just stepping forward and back. And what I want you to do, I want to challenge you to think about the corners on the bottom of this right foot. As you come forward, it's the back 2 corners added by the front 2 corners. As you go back, it's the front 2 corners touching first, then the back 2 corners. Stepping and stepping. Think about it. Think about that leg pulling the other leg up. All right, and now we're going to switch. Starting with the other leg. If you did your right leg first, you're going to do the left. If you did your left leg first, you're going to do the right. Stepping and stepping. So that leg leads every time. Stepping, So you think about the toes and then the heels going down, then the heels and then the toes going down, stepping, stepping. You can make it as big a step as you want, or just concentrating on balancing on that leg and bringing the other leg to it. Balancing on that leg from toe to heel, from heel to toe, from toe to heel. And of course, I never want you to lock that knee. Good. 2 more, back, front, 1 more, back, front. Good. All right. Now what we're going to do is I would like you to, let me look at my sheets. Okay. What I'd like you to do next is with a wide stance, I'm going to have you shift your weight to one side, shift your weight to the other side. Keep your chair handy. In that chair, you're shifting your weight from one side to the other side. And try to feel, am I stable? As I do this, I shift my weight, I shift my weight, I shift my weight. So we did it with the arms, now we're doing it with the legs, but without that movement. We're not lifting anything up, you're just shifting, shifting. Torso is tall, shoulders are down, belly is tight again. You can do this facing your chair, shifting that weight from one side to the other side. Now, this is great, and if you want to make it more challenging, you can shift. I actually have to do it like this so I can hold on and demonstrate. You're going to shift and lift, put it down, shift and lift, put it down, shift and lift. It's kind of hard to do holding on. I'll go behind my chair. Shift and lift, shift and lift. I'm going to hold on over here, and I'm going to hold on over here. Shift and lift. But you're going to do it with your chair in front of you so that you don't have to worry about not holding on. So you're down, you shift, and then you lift. Come down, shift, and lift. Come down, shift, lift. Back down, shift, and lift. You got it. Shift, lift, shift. If your legs are getting tired, you get to stop. Shift, lift. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do it with our feet close together. So you're going to shift and lift, shift and lift. And we're going to start with it out to the side. You can be sideways to your chair. You can be facing your chair. It's just harder to see when I'm facing my chair that I'm shifting and lifting. Then what we're going to do is shift and lift to the front with a straight leg. Shift your weight from one foot to the other foot and lift. You've got your chair next to you. You can still do this facing your chair. You don't have to lift it high. Lift your leg right in between those rungs. And then we're going to shift and lift behind. We did this a little bit earlier. We're doing it again. Now, if you want to get a bit different of a challenge, if you lift your left leg, lift your right arm up. As you lift your right leg, lift your left arm up. Keep that torso tall. Shift and lift. If your back starts to get tired, you get to be done. Shift and lift. Shift and lift, shift and lift. Good. Now, let's do it out to the side, and if you want, you can lift the other arm. So you're shifting and lifting the other arm. So I'm holding on to my apparatus in front of me, and I'm lifting out to the side. I'm lifting the other arm up. If you can't do that or it's not comfortable, by all means don't. Shift and lift. Your knees are soft the whole time. They're not locked. Your shoulders are down. Your chest is up. Your belly is tight. And then you're going to go to the front. If you lift your left leg up, bring your right arm up. If you lift your left leg up, bring your right arm up. Shift and lift. Shift and lift. Got it. We're changing the dynamic, trying to be aware of our body in space, what it feels like to be on that one foot. But by all means, you do not have to let go of that chair. All right. The next one we're going to do is a balance exercise where we're just working on balance, and you're going to actually close your eyes for this one if you can. So, you've got your chair next to you. You're going to take one leg, put it in front of the other, with the heel of the front foot touching the toes of the back foot. This is what it looks like from the side. Torso tall, shoulders down, belly tight, and then we're going to close our eyes. So, you can do it facing your chair. You can do it sideways to your chair. I'm going to do it facing so you can see that I've got the one foot in front of the other. Bring your chest up, your shoulders down, your belly tight. And we're going to close our eyes. We're going to do this for 1 minute. Ready? Get set. Close those eyes. So you're just working on balance. If you are facing your chair and you're holding on with two hands, try letting go with one hand or lifting your hands off that chair and then put them back down. Here's what I'd like you to think about while we do this activity. We tend to shift our weight towards one foot. So I want you to think about the four corners of your back foot and the four corners of your front foot. Try to shift your weight evenly on all 8 corners. So your front foot and your back foot are equally engaged. Your torso is tall, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. You're going to breathe. Again, think about those 8 corners. You may be shifting around a little bit. Nothing wrong with that, but I want you to be aware. We're trying to become more aware of our body and space by closing our eyes because we're taking out that balance aid that we all use tremendously. All right, good work. Now, don't turn around, don't do anything but switch the legs. So if you're sideways to your chair, that's okay. Just put the other foot in front. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Ready, get set, close those eyes. So once again, think about the 8 corners on the bottom of the 2 feet. 4 corners on the bottom of the back foot, 4 corners on the bottom of the front foot. Can you evenly distribute your weight, easy for me to say, between those 8 corners? So you don't have all your weight on your back foot or your front foot. And then you try to balance. So if you're holding on with a death grip and your knuckles are white, try to loosen up that grip. Just work on balance. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Think about where you are in space. Can you feel the ground through the bottom of your feet? Can you feel your feet moving to help you balance? Are your ankles helping? Are your knees helping? Are your hips involved? Is your core engaged? You have less than 10 seconds to go. Done. All right. What I'd like you to do next is have a seat on your chair. We're going to do a few stretches before we're done. So I'd like you to sit on your chair, and we're going to do a piriformis stretch. So that's for your low back and the back of your hip. You're going to take one ankle and put it up on the other thigh. Now, you may go, oh, I can't do that, Karen. That's okay. If you can't, scooch up on your chair, straighten your other leg out on the ground, and put your ankle wherever on that leg you can in order to get a stretch back here. So I'm going to do a little bit of a sideways so you can see things a little bit. So you're going to put your ankle on your thigh or on your shin or wherever you can. And what we're working on is stretching back in here or along here or along here. If when you go out for a walk, your low back gets tired, or if after this class, perhaps, your back got a little bit tired from all the work that we did, what you can do is sit down and do this stretch. It's a figure 4, because my leg looks kind of like a number 4 if I look down at it. Piriformis stretch. Your torso is tall. You don't want to round your back if you don't have to, but if you have to, go ahead and do it. And we're stretching out this area back here. All right, let's switch legs. Let's do the other leg now. So remember, you can have that leg out straight if you need to. Put your ankle on your thigh, and then slowly but surely over time, you might be able to work it up so that you can get it on top of your thigh. Wherever you are comfortable is where you need to be right now. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. You're just stretching out here. Breathe and relax. You're stretching out the left side now. You're sitting as straight as you can. You want to try to not round that back, but again, if you have to round your back, round your back. Good stretch when your back gets tired when you're out doing things. Okay, let's put this foot down. Now we're going to stretch the back of the thigh. So that's going to be with your leg out in front of you. You're going to gently lean forward, stretching out the back of the hip. I'd like you to try, I'm going to turn sideways a little bit more. I would like you to try to keep your back as flat as you can, not rounding. So back as flat as you can, you're going to reach down towards that foot. Some of you can grab your foot. I am a tight constitution. No way am I grabbing my foot. It's not happening. But that's okay. That's my body. If you can, good for you. You might be able to lay all the way down on your thigh. More power to you. You are more flexible than I. Chest is up, shoulders are down if you can. You don't have to lean forward. This may be enough. You may feel a stretch like this. Not a problem. Let's switch sides. Put the other leg out in front. That leg is straight. Your back is flat. And then if it feels good to you, you can lean forward some only from your hip, not rounding your back. Torso is tall, stretching out the back of the other thigh. Nice deep breaths. All right, the next stretch that we're going to do, I'm going to turn my chair to face you. It's going to be an inner thigh stretch. So, you're sitting on your chair. You can scooch to one side a little bit. Put that leg out to your side. You're going to stretch the inner thigh. I've got a table in my way. I'm going to move up a little bit. So, my leg is out to the side. Some people can put their foot down. I am not flexible enough to do that. I need to have my foot up, and I'm stretching my inner thigh. Torso tall, shoulders down. Just feel a nice, easy stretch. If you have arms on your chair, this may not be something you can do. So you just get to hang out. You can do your piriformis or your hamstring stretch again. And let's switch sides. So you're going to switch over. Move my chair because I don't have a lot of room here, so I can straighten out this leg. All right, so you're sitting on the edge of your chair, on the side. That leg is off to your side. Got it. As much room as I can in this space, and you're stretching out your inner thigh. Your torso's tall, your shoulders are down. You're just feeling a nice, easy stretch in here. Almost done. Okay, come on up to standing. And the next stretch we're going to do is a quadricep stretch. I'm going to move something out of the way here. So, if you have another chair and you find that your quadriceps are inflexible, the quadriceps are the front of your thigh, then you might want to use something behind you to put your foot up on rather than grabbing your leg. So, you're going to stand facing your chair. And if you are flexible enough to reach back and grab your pant leg, sock, shoe, foot, or ankle, and gently pull your heel towards your buttock, great. Not everybody is that flexible, so if you have a coffee table nearby or another chair nearby, you can put your foot up on that and then stand tall. So that's one option. And if you find that that's not challenging enough, what you could do, I'm going to use my television as the thing that I hold on to, and I'm going to put my foot up on my chair behind me. That's a little bit higher. We're trying to stretch the front of your thigh. And then the other option would be grab your foot and gently pull that heel towards your buttock. Whatever way works for you, works for me. You might also just bend that leg and hold it there. I just don't want your hamstring to cramp up. So that's why you might want to put your foot on a table or on another chair. The leg you're standing on has a soft knee. Your torso is tall. Your shoulders are down. If you find this to be easy, you could bring that leg further behind you. And then eventually you'll hopefully feel a stretch. All right, let's do the other side. So remember, you can put your foot up on a table. Put your foot up on a chair. You can hang on to that foot with your other hand. Just gently pull that heel towards your buttock with your hamstring. Whatever works for you. Your torso's tall, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. I'm going to face this way just so you can see what I'm doing. Bring that heel gently towards my buttock. Torso tall, shoulders down. And again, if you find that to be easy, bring that leg slightly behind you. Just working on stretching the front of that thigh. All right, we're going to put that leg down. We're going to stretch our calves next. You're going to take one leg, put it back with the heel down and the leg straight. Back heel is down, back leg is straight. Now bend that back leg slightly, keeping your heel down. We're also going to stretch the hip flexor here. So those are your calf stretches. Stay in this position. Now bring that back heel up, bend both knees. The leg that's back there, take that arm, bring it up. Bend that arm, tuck your chin in, push your head back into your hand, and push your hips forward. We're stretching the front of the hip of this side. And then you're going to switch legs. Put the other leg back. I'm going to turn around just so you can see. The leg is back, the heel is down, the leg is straight. Roll your shoulders back and down. That's the top part of your calf. Now, keeping that heel down, you're going to bend that knee slightly. That's more the bottom part of the calf. Now, lift your heel up, bend both knees, push your hips forward, take that arm, bring it up, bend it behind your head, tuck your chin in, push your head back into your hand. That's your hip flexor stretch. It's a good one to stretch regularly because it gets tight because every step you take you lengthen it, and when you sit, it's in its shortest position. Come on up to standing. Give yourself a hand. Good work today. I hope you feel like you're improving your balance. You can do this workout every day. If something hurts, don't do it. The most important thing is to listen to your body. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a terrific rest of your day.